My beloved child, in the coming months, someone will quietly depart from your life. It will not be announced, nor will it make a loud noise or leave behind clear traces. Yes, I speak this not to trouble your heart, but to prepare your soul for a divine transition that I have sovereignly allowed. I know it will confuse you. I know you still believe this connection will endure, that this bond you now hold can withstand all trials. But what you do not yet realize is this: though that person is still present, still speaking, still walking beside you, they have long begun their retreat in the realm of their thoughts and in the quiet chambers of their soul. Can you feel it? The subtle vagueness in their responses, the way their gaze no longer lingers on you as it once did, the thinning of promises, and the growing silence between your conversations? They are not withdrawing with their steps, but with their heart. They are gently seeking an exit, not to break you, but in hopes of sparing you from pain. Yet even in gentleness, pain will come, because true love never departs without leaving behind an echo. But child, know this: their departure is not a punishment, but a thread woven into the sacred design I am unfolding for your life. This person is not leaving because you weren't enough, not because you were wrong or unworthy. They will fade from your life because their time in your story has reached its appointed end. They have fulfilled the role I permitted them to play in your journey. Some people are sent for only a season, for a brief chapter, not to remain until the final page. And if you try to hold on to them beyond the divine timing, you will not only invite weariness, but also hinder the newness I am preparing to bring forth at the right time, through the right person. And so, as the fog of the past begins to lift, as you learn to release and let me continue writing your story with my sovereign hand, I want you to know, I do not leave your heart empty. I do not only take away, I also give. There is no dry season I allow without also holding the promise of rain. There is no loss I permit without embedding in it the seed of divine restoration. Beloved one, ready your heart, for someone new is about to enter your life. This will not be a random encounter. It is a holy appointment, written long ago in your sacred timeline. They will not arrive from your fleeting desires or emotional choices. I am sending them like a messenger, a helper, a carrier of keys that will unlock the doors you've long whispered prayers about in secret. This person will not come bearing grand promises or a neatly drawn plan. They will bring something far more precious, a deep understanding distilled through their own journey of fire. They do not carry keys in the traditional sense, but instruments of life, heavenly capacities forged in surrender and silence. Among the gifts they carry is the light of discernment, to help you see clearly what is true and what merely glitters with illusion. In a time when pretense can wear a sacred mask, that gift will guard you from binding yourself to the wrong covenant, and will keep your heart steady on the path of truth. Moreover, this person will carry a healing presence, a kind of peace that defies understanding, yet has the power to calm the unnamed wounds within you. They will not ask why you are hurting, nor will they rush to offer solutions. They will simply be there, a presence so gentle, so steady, that your weary soul will finally exhale after years of having to be strong. Not through promises, but through their unwavering presence. Place them beside you as a shield around the precious calling I have entrusted into your hands. You will not meet this person at a perfect time. Not when you feel strong, not when you think you're ready. On the contrary, you will meet them while you are still trembling, still recovering from loss, still learning how to trust again. But do not worry, for though your emotions may still be fragile, your spirit has been thoroughly prepared by me. Through every restless night, through every tear that had no name, through every moment your head bowed in a whisper, "Lord, help me," I have been deepening your soul, training your spiritual sight, so that when they arrive, you will not be deceived by what the eye sees, but you will recognize my mark upon them. And that is precisely why I had to remove the one before them. Not because I wanted you to endure loss, but because I could not allow the former bond to hinder the arrival of what is new. You cannot take hold of what I give if your hands are still clutching what I have declared finished. The other person, though once part of your story, would now become an obstacle to the spiritual movement I am beginning. Their presence would make you doubt your calling or prevent the new one from stepping fully into the role I have appointed. I know this may sound severe, but, my child, the calling upon your life is greater than you can imagine. It is far too sacred for me to allow anyone to manipulate, damage, or delay it. You are not just someone trying to survive. You are a carrier of seeds, seeds of life and legacy. You hold within you the influence of generations yet to come. And for that reason, I will not let anything, be it emotion, routine, or memory, hold back what I have planned for you. This new person will not exhaust you by requiring you to become someone else. They will not ask you to explain why you are sensitive or why you seem indifferent to things others find significant. They will see your soul and recognize your worth without needing you to prove it. They will support you in silence, pray for you without announcement, and walk with you without forcing you to change your direction. I know you've been disappointed. You've lost faith in people. You've felt the urge to shut every connection, to close the doors of your heart for good. But my child, do not let the past rob you of the grace I am now bringing into your life. Not everyone is like those who left. Not everyone comes to wound. There are some I myself have sent, not to break, but to heal, not to take, but to restore. They will soothe what was scarred. They will open doors you thought were locked forever. Keep your heart tender. Listen for my voice in every step you take. When the one I've appointed appears, your spirit will know, even when your mind hesitates. They will speak the very things you once cried to me in silence. They will remain when others would walk away. And more than anything, through their presence you will come to see, I never abandon you, and my promises are still in motion. Slow, but steady. Quiet, but unshakable. So then, my beloved, from this very moment, from the second your eyes fall upon these words, begin to prepare your heart, not by bracing yourself against what's coming, but by opening your soul to what I am about to do. Enter into a posture of holy readiness, not stirred by frantic emotions, but anchored in the stillness of faith. Let your soul become fertile ground, no longer cluttered by suspicion, worn-out expectations, or lingering wounds, but cleared and ready for what is new, what is divine, what is sent from heaven to take root and grow. Start with the smallest act. Learn to create space in your mind. Step out of the loop of questions that yield no answers, the endless analysis that drains your strength. And when the time comes, when the old ones begin to leave, whether in silence, through distance or quiet avoidance, let them go. Do not hold on to those whom I am gently removing from your life. It is not because they are evil, but because they no longer belong in the next chapter. And yes, I know this may cause you pain. There may be nights when you weep over things no one else can see, but in those very tears, I am cleansing the soil of your soul to plant new seeds. Seeds of healing, of growth, and of deeper union with me. When they walk away, do not assign blame. Do not grow bitter. Do not let accusation rise from your lips. Choose instead the higher road, kindness. Let your gentleness be the quiet testimony of what I am doing within you. Do not chase after those who have departed. Do not try to rekindle what I have brought to an end. If they truly belonged in the story I am writing for you, they would never have left, and if they leave, trust that I have seen what your eyes have yet to behold. And when they slip away quietly, hold your silence too. Not the silence of shame or self-doubt, but the silence of one who understands that some things belong to the higher realms and do not need to be explained on earthly terms. Not everyone is capable of understanding the sacred shift taking place in your life. You do not need to draft a neat narrative to ease others' minds. You do not have to fabricate a justification for every broken relationship. What I dismantle, you are not meant to carry as a burden in your mind. Greatness does not come from how many people you manage to keep by your side, but from how much obedience you preserve in your heart. Obedience is not passive surrender. It is profound trust that my plans are always more complete than anything you can imagine. When you remain silent, you are making space for me to speak. When you are kind, you reflect my image in a world starving for unconditional love. And remember this: you are not alone in this process. Even in moments when you feel abandoned, I am still there. I still walk with you, quietly but unshakably. When you long to explain, I will be the whisper in your spirit saying, "You don't need to." When you want to respond, I will take your hand and say, "Let me handle this for you." So, my child of light, do not let your heart be troubled. Let the stillness within you become the loudest declaration that you are mine, that you are moving not by the noise of the world, but by the leading of the Spirit, that you are stepping into a new season, a season where what is unnecessary will fall away, leaving only what carries the imprint of heaven. And when that person quietly withdraws from your life, you will not recognize it by a clear conversation or a final explanation, but by a deep, encompassing silence. Not the cold silence of indifference, but a sacred pause, where once familiar presence vanishes like a wind that halts mid-journey. You will feel it as an echo of absence in your soul, as if a once cultivated field has now turned desolate. And in that moment, if you are not careful, you may be tempted to fill that emptiness with anything. A quick conversation, a fleeting connection, a substitute relationship. But my beloved, I urge you, do not rush. Do not rush to replace what I have lovingly removed with my own hand. Do not fill the silence with noise just because the stillness feels unfamiliar. Because until the noise quieted, until your heart was still enough to receive them. And then you will witness something sacred unfold. My words will saturate the dry ground within you. Every empty space that once left you restless will begin to be filled not by people, but by my holy presence. Every wound you were afraid to touch will be soothed, not by explanations, but by my healing touch. Every question left unanswered will slowly give way to a peace that surpasses all understanding. You will no longer need to understand everything to feel at peace. You will no longer seek validation to believe you are worthy. You will no longer feel the need to prove you were not wrong. You will learn to be still in steadfast faith. And from that place where you choose to sit, to walk, to listen, I will begin to unfold new things before you. I sought to give you fresh direction, not as dry plans, but like rivers flowing into a thirsty land. The guidance will not come with pressure, but with a divine breaking open within your spirit. As though light were reaching a place that had long been dark, you will sense a holy movement inside, something awakening, rising, urging you forward. Not because you fear being left behind, but because you now know you are being led. New assignments will be entrusted to you, not because you are strong enough, but because you have learned how to depend. Doors once thought permanently closed will begin to open again, but this time you will not enter them with a weary or hesitant heart. You will enter with the firm assurance that you walk alongside the one who ordained every step. You will no longer carry burdens alone, because I will walk with you, not just in word, but in every breath, every act, and every moment that lies ahead. And know this, my child, the doors I open will not be ordinary. They will require your full presence, not just your strength, but your mind, your spirit, and your complete obedience. I will not thrust you into anything you are not prepared for, but as you walk in surrender, you will discover that what once brought you to your knees will now become the firm ground upon which you stand. The lessons of the past season will become sacred tools, equipping you to live fully in the new. You will need awareness. You will need spiritual sensitivity. You will need to know when to pause, when to advance, when to remain silent, and when to speak. But I promise you this, I will not leave you to wander in the dark. I will speak, and if you listen, you will hear me. If you seek, you will find me. If you wait, you will receive. So do not rush to mend what I have chosen to leave untouched. Do not interfere with the process I am sovereignly guiding. Trust that the emptiness you feel is not the end. It is an invitation to draw nearer, to me, to your truest self, and to the very purpose for which you were created. What appears to be a pause is actually a divine pull, calling you into deeper alignment with my heart and my design for your life. And now, beloved child of light, there is something you must inscribe deeply into your heart. The enemy never sleeps. It lurks quietly, not with loud destruction, but with subtle distortions. Little by little, shifting your spiritual focus ever so slightly. It doesn't always arrive with obvious threats. Sometimes it comes clothed in the sweetest whisper, wrapped in logic, disguised in the garments of very human emotion. But make no mistake, its goal is always the same: to confuse you, to blur the lines between what I warn and what it plants in your spirit. It wants you to interpret my warnings as signs of misfortune. It wants you to believe that when I speak, it means storms are coming to drown you. That when I stir your heart, it is because all good things are slipping away. It wants my voice to be drowned out by the voice of fear, It wants you to look at a warning and call it doom. It wants you to retreat in panic instead of standing firm in faith. But today I come to pull you out of that fog of deception. Today I speak once more into your soul, clearly, powerfully, and with holy authority, that I do not warn you to frighten you. I warn you to prepare you. I do not speak in advance so that you may live in worry. I speak in advance so that you may walk in wisdom and stability. My warnings are not funeral bells. They are trumpets sounding the call for warriors to ready themselves for victory. And if you feel the ground trembling beneath your feet, remember the times I trained you to rise after every fall. That was never random. That was preparation. My child, do not let watchfulness turn into worry. There is a holy difference between the two. Worry is a seed planted by the enemy when he wants you to forget who is at the helm of your life. But vigilance is the fruit of wisdom, born in those who truly love me. Vigilance is when you sense a shift in the spiritual season before others recognize it. It is when you step back to listen to me, rather than frantically chasing answers on your own. So stay awake, not in fear, but in faith. Listen, not to noise, but to my whisper. Watch, not with anxious eyes, but with eyes that trust. For I am not just speaking, I am revealing. I am not just cautioning, I am calling. And those who heed my voice will walk not into despair, but into divine alignment, fully equipped for the glory that lies ahead. So do not rush, do not panic. Do not let the lies of the darkness tear your heart apart. You are not someone being led blindly in the fog. You are the one I am guiding, step by step, moment by moment, with just enough light for each day. You don't need to see the entire map. You only need to trust that the one holding the map is me. I am preparing something great, my child. Not a collapse, but a revealing. Not a loss, but a magnificent transition. And when I stir your soul, when I begin to unsettle what once seemed immovable, it is not to make you anxious. It is because I am tearing down the old foundation to lay a new cornerstone. My warnings are not declarations of an end, but the opening note of something you never dared believe you were worthy to receive. Do not mistake the shaking for failure. Do not misinterpret the silence as abandonment. Do not assume that the signs are punishment. You are being alerted because you are stepping into new territory. And before I lead you into that land, I always teach you to recognize my voice in unfamiliar places. That is why I speak to you beforehand. That is why I do not let you walk blindly. That is why those who belong to me always have ears to hear, even in the desert. Can you sense it? The silence is shifting. It is not the silence of being forsaken. It is the silence before the curtain draws open. I am setting the stage. A heavenly appointment is drawing near. And you, beloved one, are the central figure in this scene. But for you to step onto the stage, I need you to discern between the sound of my calling and the hiss of the enemy. I need you to understand this. When I warn, it is because I love you too much to let you walk forward without being prepared. So, renew your mind. Guard what you allow into your heart. Choose to live in readiness, not in fear. When you hear me whisper, "Stay awake," do not shrink back, assuming disaster is approaching. Know this: that moment is when heaven touches earth, and you are being invited into something far beyond your imagination. I already know what lies ahead of you. There is no detour, no curve in your path that I have not seen from the beginning of time. There is no storm that rises without me having measured every gust of wind, every crashing wave. I see it all, your hopes and your fears. And because I love you, I will never allow you to enter the future in blindness or surprise. I am not a God who hides. I am the God who prepares. I do not let storms come upon you like a sudden blade. I send the wind first. Yes, it is I who permit the first winds to blow across your life, but not to knock you down, not to destroy what I am building. These winds do not come to ruin, but to awaken. They are not meant to consume, but to refine. They are the bells that ring in the soul that has grown drowsy. They shake you free from places you have lingered in too long, from patterns you have clung to too tightly, and from safe zones where I never called you to remain. And do you know, when the wind comes, it carries an invitation, a sacred invitation. Wake up. Open your spiritual eyes. Cleanse your heart once more. Drive your roots deep into me, for only those rooted in me will not be uprooted when the earth begins to shift. Those who live on the surface will be shaken, but those who have driven their roots deep into my heart, they will remain, even when the ground beneath them cracks. There are times when I choose to awaken you through gentle means, a fleeting dream, carrying images that leave your heart unsettled upon waking, not to frighten you, but to stir